Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my video. So I recently upgraded my audio setup, my microphone, and the amplifier, that kind of thing, to connect to my computer. And I wanted to go over the gear that I picked because to me it's like I consider it the ultimate gear, and that I intend to have it for many years to come. So yeah, let's just kind of go over it and talk about some of the choices I picked. So this is what I used to have: the Blue Yeti microphone. Oh, really? Lets me zoom in there. It was pretty okay, but I found the sound to be a bit echoey and kind of shallow a little bit. It also had this big like shock mount thing on it with the way that I had it on this boom arm that was also from the Blue company called the RODECaster. Well, I'll show you in a bit. And I found that to be like a little cumbersome and weird looking. And I also just didn't like the look of it very much. So the mic that I have now, the one that I'm talking to you now, is called the SM7B. It's a pretty popular microphone. It's the one used by like Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan and plenty of other people, really. It's quite a popular microphone. I'd say it's, I like the look of it too. That was another reason I decided on it. And also the sound, I find it to be a bit warmer from my testing and just like from hearing other people talk with it. I guess you guys can be the judge of that and see some of my other videos and compare. But I'm still learning with it. I'm still tweaking it. There's a lot of different settings you can tweak that I'll get into the equipment that I use where I have the ability to do all this tweaking. So some of the options I was thinking of with the microphone, there's this other one here called the SM7dB that's kind of came out after the SM7B. I find this to be more the original, and like I think it's cooler in that it's like more just like pure, and then you can kind of amplify it the way you want. Whereas this other one here comes with a built-in preamp, kind of like what's happening with this Cloudlifter here, which is something we'll get into a bit. Essentially, it's a piece that you put in between the microphone and the amp, or like the digital converter that goes into the computer, just to kind of boost the signal, because these mics essentially almost require it, basically, to the point where they made a new mic where it was built in. But I found this to be like, I just didn't like that it was built in. I prefer like, let's just have the pure one that's simple, and then I'll just get a better amp or better thing to be able to handle that. So that's the plan. I'll talk about that, how I got to that. Another option here was it was called the MV7 when I was looking just like recently, but I guess now they have the MV7 Plus. So that's like another kind of interesting option. If you're on like a lower budget, this is kind of more of an all-in-one solution where I think you don't even need the amp. I think it's just like a USB mic. Yeah, I believe so. But to be honest, like I considered that one a little bit, but I was kind of set on this SM7B really. Like I always thought that was a cool mic since like a long time ago. I've been looking at that one. This is another one that Rode recommends, the PodMic. I see a lot of people using that. And then if I was to be like, okay, I had no budget at all, this is the one I saw a lot of people using. Like not that many people, to be honest. Like this is a thousands of dollar microphone, 4,000 or something. The U87AA from Neumann. This would be like, if I didn't have this, maybe I'd get that. So it's like, this is to me the peak of the budget of where I was looking for. And if I had like no budget concerns and I had a lot more money than I do, maybe I'd be like, okay, well, I'll get this just because like it's supposed to be the best, and let's just see how it sounds and go from there, kind of thing. Because I understand a lot can be done with adjusting, but I like to kind of try to have good hardware as well, to be honest. And then another cool option that I saw people using was this Sennheiser MKH 416. The idea behind this one is like if you essentially don't want a mic that's visible, and then you can have the mic kind of off in the distance, and it's a shotgun microphone, so kind of whatever you point it at, it just has a really good ability to capture it. I considered that, but I really do like the look of the mic, and I like to be able to hold it, and it's just like very useful this way. I feel like it's you don't have to point it or anything. It's just like right here, and I can move it and do whatever I want with it. I guess we'll see how this video turns out as far as like how the microphone captures, because this is the first time me using it, but I'm happy with the look anyways. I guess we'll see how it sounds. Getting back to like having to amplify it to get it connected to the computer, there's a few options here. Like these amps here were some of the ones I was looking at. The Scarlett 2i2 was something I thought, oh, that was really cool. And then I started reading reviews where people were saying like this Audient ID4. So I was like, okay, I was really torn between those two, and I was kind of sold on this Audient for a while. But then in both cases, I was going to need this Cloudlifter. So I thought, okay, like this is 200. The Cloudlifter is like 100 or 200 Canadian dollars we're talking. So we're already looking like a $400 investment. And then I got and found about this thing here, the RODECaster Duo. This is what I have. It's like, I think it's like another $200 more. Like let's say it's 600 or something like that. But I found it's like a huge jump in like doing both things plus doing a lot more. And it's been getting a lot of cool reviews. And another cool thing is it's essentially equivalent to this one, the RODECaster Pro II, which is like a much more complicated one. It's just like a smaller version of it. from everything I've understood. And it already has enough of a amplification where you don't need the Cloudlifter. I mean, I hope. I guess you can be the judge on this, but I've seen many reviews and I've been doing the testing myself, and it does seem to be the case. Plus, it just comes with tons of customization, which I think are pretty cool. Like, also, it's has pre-settings for this microphone, so I'm able to pick exactly the settings with the microphone. It also has like an inline monitor, so you can plug in headphones. I have these headphones right here. These aren't necessarily monitor headphones; they're not studio headphones, but they're the headphones that I decided on. I wanted to have like a good sound of some sorts. I don't need it to be like the perfect sound quality, but I just wanted it for testing purposes. And again, you can just plug it right into the front of this thing here. And then on the back, you can just use XLR, which I'll get into in a moment here with these cables here. These connectors are, the company I believe is called Neutrik, I think. Yeah, I believe we'll get into that in a moment here. I think I have the link here. Yeah, it's these here Neutrik connectors. So essentially, it comes with Neutrik connectors on the back, and I've also got a cable that has the Neutrik connectors. They're somewhat popular connectors. I even did some research on the cabling, so I'll get into that. But yeah, this is a really cool device. I'm really enjoying it, and these presets are really neat too. I'm not going to mess with it this time, but it has the ability to switch between the camera options, and I actually had it working, but I just don't want to do it for this video because I can't. This is like my first time playing with it, so I'll get more confident with it. But it has many customizations, so I'm really excited about using it. And this is going in from like the mic arm directly over my monitors and all my computer stuff into the thing. And let's get into the cable here in a second. Yeah, so like I said, just like the RODECaster Pro II, but with less dials basically and less connectors. Another one to consider, this came out like right after I got mine. It's not what I would have picked because I don't care about the video as much, but this is another cool option, and then it has similar amps and everything, but it can also, like if you see here, it's also got the XLR connectors, but it also does video. So this is another thing to consider, but it's like really new. So yeah, getting into the cable, I went with this Mogami Gold. You can kind of see it here. Let me switch back to the camera for a second. Yeah, you can kind of see it here. The gold. It looks fancy. I thought that was kind of cool about the cable. But also just like researching the cable, it had some pretty good value about like noise reduction, because it's not like this environment it's going over a bunch of other electronics before it connects back into my RODECaster over here. So I wanted it to be like very noise conditioned kind of thing. And after watching some reviews and stuff, I thought, a cable I think really matters in this case, because this is like an analog signal. And I think in the analog one, it's a lot more important that the signal's like not messed with kind of thing. So to me, I believed in getting a better cable. It wasn't so much more expensive at the same time. So I decided to go with it. I also forgot I have the boxes here. I can show here, like I have the cable thing. It comes in like this package here. I was mentioning about the RODECaster. Yeah, we have the RODECaster here, which is comes in a pretty cool box. And then the microphone itself also comes in a pretty neat box. And yeah, I won't show the mic arm because it's a huge box, but yeah, let's move on to that as well after we've talked about the cable. Yeah, so it has these good connectors, and one of the things that's talking about the cable and noise reduction is it's using this like quad cabling, this Neglex quad cabling. And there is another one called the standard, which is like dual versus quad, I believe. If you look at the design here, it's kind of like these two, and then the other one is the 4. So, and it does help apparently with noise reduction. Another option for that is a company like these World Best Cables, where essentially they use the Mogami cables and the Neutrik, all the connectors and all the right cables. That's basically the same cable in a lot of ways, but they're making it, so it's not from Mogami. But that's like another option you could consider. I just went with the Mogami cable because it was just a 10-foot cable. It wasn't so expensive, if I remember. And I thought, let's have the best possible cable going from the mic to the connector. Like if I've already spent this money, like it was not so bad. So getting into boom, like the microphone arm, this is another thing I wanted to upgrade, because the arm I had here, this Compass boom arm, it's okay, but it's really annoying, to be honest. It's hard to see in this image right here, unfortunately. But if you look on the corners here, on the other side, there's these like tightening screw kind of things you have to do, and it was always kind of going up, going down, and I had to tighten it all the time. Whereas this one here, I'll show you here. Let me just switch to the camera here again. This one here has no connectors or anything, and I'm able to just kind of move it around and adjust it and manipulate it all I want, and it's just perfectly adjusts and no problem at all, basically. So this is like my dream mic arm as well. And this one is from a company called Elgato. It's called the Wave Arm. Let me just switch to the browser here to show it here. Yeah, the Elgato Wave Arm. And after doing a bunch of research, this was the one that I was like, oh man, this looks coolest. Looking at some of the other ones that were out there, there's also this one, like if you look at Lex Friedman, he's using the PSA1, which is kind of the older version. There's also the PSA1 Plus now. And they're okay looking. To me, it looks a little like almost like a lamp shade kind of thing. It doesn't look as cool. And I prefer the idea of these pieces being covered kind of thing. And if you look at the Plus one here, the branding on it is kind of like really obscene to me. Like having this big Rode symbol there, I didn't want that. So that's where I was like, this Wave Arm was like, oh man, this is elegant. And there's basically no branding. There's the logo right up here, but like you wouldn't even know. And it's a pretty nice logo anyways. And then another popular one that you see a lot is the low profile mic arm from them. But I didn't really want a low profile. I want to be able to manipulate it in this way. And yeah, it's in the shot, but that's okay to me. So I like it like this actually. And I have a lot of stuff on my desk, so I want to be able to type on my computer and have my arms free and stuff, and that's a lot better too. The old mic that I had, to get it to be this low like this, it was kind of in the way of my keyboard because of that shock mount and stuff, and now it's built into the SM7B, all this stuff, the microphone, so I don't have to worry about that. And then like talking about the Joe Rogan one, this is another low profile one that I decided not to do, but this is the one that Joe Rogan's using right now. And I thought, okay, this one's cool, but if like this is the ultimate of what he's decided to pick, like to me, I'm not even like, I don't like that. You know, I don't like the look of it. Again, I don't like the low profile when I'm trying to type and stuff like that. So to me, this was way better to be able to get this Elgato one over the other ones that I saw. And yeah, like that's basically the gear that I decided to pick, and that's my thinking for it. So if you thought it was cool, if you like the way this sounds, please leave some comments or consider buying this stuff. And yeah, I'm going to keep tweaking the audio, so I appreciate any comments one way or the other about how it sounds. And yeah, thanks for checking out this video. See you in the next one. Bye.